It started like any other school day, but what unfolded was something no one could have predicted. A young black girl, full of energy and ready to start her morning, boarded her usual school bus. But instead of a routine ride, she found herself in the middle of a shocking confrontation. Witnesses say the bus driver, with an unexpected burst of anger, forcefully pushed her off the bus, leaving everyone stunned. What could have caused such an extreme reaction? As the other students looked on in disbelief, tension filled the air, and the situation spiraled quickly. But just when it seemed like things couldn't get worse, something extraordinary happened that changed everything. Stay with us as we uncover the story behind this incident, explore the consequences, and reveal the surprising turn of events that left everyone speechless. You won't believe how this story ends. As the girl stumbled away from the bus, her heart raced. She had never experienced anything like this before. She was just trying to get to school, like any other student, yet here she was, thrown out into the cold morning air without explanation. The other kids on the bus watched in shock, many too stunned to act. Some later admitted they were unsure whether to step in or stay silent, unsure of what to do or say. The bus driver, an older man who had worked the same route for years, was known for being strict but never violent. So what could have triggered this outburst? Was it a misunderstanding or something deeper at play? As the girl stood there, feeling humiliated and confused, she couldn't help but wonder. Would anyone stand up for her? And what would happen if no one did? The silence around her felt suffocating. As the minutes ticked by, the girl, still standing by the curb, felt her phone buzz in her pocket. It was a text from her mom, asking if she'd made it to school yet. The girl hesitated, unsure how to explain what had just happened. Her fingers hovered over the screen, but no words came. How could she explain the shock, the humiliation? The frustration boiled inside her, but what choice did she have? She couldn't go back to that bus, not with the driver glaring at her through the window, as if daring her to make a scene. Meanwhile, some of the other students started whispering amongst themselves, trying to make sense of what had just unfolded. A few started to record what they had witnessed, but no one dared to speak up. Was it racism? Was the bus driver simply having a bad day? And what about the girl? How would she move forward from this? The school year was still young, but something had changed. The tension in the air was palpable, and whispers about the incident started to spread like wildfire. Even though the girl hadn't said a word to anyone yet, the event had left an undeniable mark. Some of the kids began to look at her differently, while others saw her as a symbol of standing up for what was right. But the real question was, would anyone do anything about it? Or would this injustice remain unanswered? The days that followed felt like a blur. The girl stayed home from school the next day, needing time to process what had happened. But even in the safety of her room, the questions didn't stop. Why did the driver target her? Was it just a random outburst or something more? Each time she tried to forget, the memory came rushing back, how everyone had just watched, paralyzed, as she was humiliated in front of them. At school, the atmosphere was tense. Students exchanged hushed whispers in hallways, some of them staring at her from a distance, others avoiding eye contact altogether. The girl knew that something needed to be done, but no one seemed willing to speak up. The bus driver continued his route as usual, but there was a lingering sense of unease among the passengers who had witnessed the incident. Then one afternoon, a surprise message arrived on her phone. It was from one of the students who had been on the bus, someone she didn't know very well. The text simply read, "I think it's time we do something." The girl's heart skipped a beat. Was this the support she had been waiting for? What were they planning to do? Could they actually stand up to the bus driver and to the system that seemed to protect him? Tension filled the air as the pieces of the puzzle slowly started to come together, but the fear of the unknown still loomed. Would she find justice, or would the world continue to look the other way? The clock was ticking, and the moment of truth was fast approaching. The message from the student sent a spark of hope through the girl, but as the days passed, something unexpected happened that completely changed the direction of everything. Just when it seemed like there might be a breakthrough, a new twist turned the situation upside down. One morning, a video surfaced online, shot from a hidden angle on the bus, that showed the moments before the incident. The video was clear. The bus driver was shouting at her, but then, shockingly, it showed the girl defending herself, standing up to his anger in a way no one had realized before. The video quickly went viral, but not in the way the girl had hoped. Some viewers rallied behind her, calling out the bus driver for his unfair treatment, but others began to twist the narrative, suggesting the girl had provoked him. The comments section exploded with heated debates, some defending the driver, claiming he was under stress, while others condemned his actions as blatantly racist. The girl felt the walls closing in as the video spread further, and now, instead of getting the justice she hoped for, she was at the center of an increasingly toxic online battle. As more people began to get involved, things escalated. A few hours later, a new post appeared online, this time from the bus driver's daughter, who claimed her father had been dealing with an ongoing personal crisis and had never acted out like this before. Her message was filled with a mix of anger and desperation, urging people to stop attacking her father. The stakes were raised even higher now. The situation was no longer just about what happened on the bus. It was about reputations, social media wars, and the truth hidden beneath layers of conflict. The question loomed larger than ever: who would come forward to make sure this didn't fade into silence? Would anyone break free from the chaos to bring justice, or was this story going to get even more complicated? As the online battle raged on, the girl found herself facing an impossible choice: retreat into silence or stand up and expose the truth. It wasn't just about the bus driver anymore. It was about everyone who had watched and said nothing, about a system that had let her down. After days of internal struggle, she made the decision to act. She called a meeting with the students who had reached out to her, including those who had recorded the video. Together, they planned a bold move. They were going to take their story to the school board, not just for justice for her, but to ensure no one else would have to go through what she did. The day of the meeting, tension filled the room. The bus driver was present, along with his daughter, the school officials, and a room full of students. The girl stood in front of them all, trembling but determined. She shared her side of the story, her voice steady as she described the humiliation and fear she had felt, and how she had been unfairly blamed in the media. Then, one by one, the students who had been there that day came forward. Their testimonies were raw and powerful, painting a picture of a broken system where fear and silence allowed injustice to thrive. The bus driver's daughter spoke last, her words filled with regret and pleading for understanding. She admitted her father had been dealing with personal struggles, but she also acknowledged that his actions had crossed a line. Just as the meeting seemed to reach a resolution, something unexpected happened. A new video surfaced, this time from a different angle, one that hadn't been seen by anyone before. It revealed the full story. The girl had been pushed, but what no one knew was that she had tried to help the bus driver earlier that morning. She had noticed him struggling with his personal issues and had reached out to offer support, only to be met with anger. The video didn't excuse the driver's behavior, but it gave the audience a deeper understanding of the complex situation. The truth was messier than anyone had realized. In the end, the school took swift action, suspending the driver and offering counseling for both him and the students involved. But the girl had gained something far more important than justice. She had found her voice, and with it, the strength to speak up not just for herself, but for everyone who had ever been silenced. As she walked out of the meeting room, she couldn't help but wonder, had anyone truly learned from this, or was it just another story that would fade into the background? Only time would tell. As the days passed, life slowly began to return to normal, but the impact of what had happened would never truly fade. The girl, though still recovering from the ordeal, found strength in knowing that her actions had sparked a much-needed conversation about accountability, understanding, and the importance of standing up for what's right. The school, taking the lessons from the incident to heart, implemented new policies to ensure that incidents like this would never be ignored again. The bus driver, though suspended, received the help he needed to address his personal struggles, while the girl's classmates began to see her not as a victim, but as someone who had helped expose uncomfortable truths. The school community grew stronger, bound together by the belief that silence would no longer be tolerated. And though the road ahead would still be difficult, the girl knew one thing for sure: when people stand together and speak out, change is possible. The final twist of the story reminded everyone that the truth is rarely simple.